Lena and Ina Stillinger, the daughters of Joseph and Sarah Stillinger, planned to leave early for church one Sunday morning. They planned on having dinner with their grandmother that evening after the service, spending the afternoon with her and then returning to her home to spend the night after the Children's Day exercises concluded. However, the girls were invited by Catherine Moore to stay the night at the Moore house instead. Prior to leaving before the exercises, Mr. Moore made a phone call to the Stillinger home to ask permission for the girls to stay the night. Lena and Ina's older sister Blanche told Mr. Moore that her parents were outdoors, but that she would pass on the message to them. The Children's Day program was an annual event at the church, and it began at approximately 8 p.m. Sunday, June 9th. According to a witness, Sarah Moore coordinated the exercises. All of the Moore children, including the Stillinger girls, participated. Josiah Moore sat in the congregation. The program ended at 9:30 p.m. The Moore family, along with the Stillinger sisters, walked home from the church. They entered their home approximately between the times of 9:45 and 10 p.m. That following morning at approximately 5 a.m., Mary Peckham, the Moores' next-door neighbor, stepped into her yard to hang laundry. At approximately 7 a.m., Mary noticed that no one from the Moore home had stepped outside. None of the chores had begun, and the home seemed oddly still. Between 7 and 8 a.m., Mary approached the home and knocked on the door. When she got no response, she attempted to open the door, but it was locked from the inside. Mary then placed a call to Josiah's brother, Ross Moore, setting into place one of the most mismanaged murder investigations to ever be undertaken. Based on the testimonies of Mary Peckham and those who saw the Moores at the Children's Day exercise, it is believed that between the times of 12 a.m. and 5 a.m., an unknown assailant entered the home of J.B. Moore and murdered all occupants of the house with an axe. Upon arriving at the home of his brother, Ross Moore tried to peer into the windows of the bedrooms. He then started to bang on the windows, bang on the doors, shouting, in hopes of arousing anybody from inside. When that failed, he pulled out a set of keys, one unlocking the front door. Mary Peckham did follow him onto the front porch. However, she did not follow him inside once the door was open. Ross went no further than the room off the parlor. When he opened the bedroom door, he saw two bodies on the bed. He immediately exited the house to return on the porch where Mary Peckham was and told her to call the sheriff. The two bodies downstairs were of Lena and Ina, aged 12 and 8. The remaining members of the Moore family were found upstairs by City Marshal Hank Horton. Every person in the house was brutally murdered, had their skulls smashed in as they were sleeping. Josiah Moore, aged 43, Sarah Montgomery Moore, aged 39, Herman Moore, age 11, Catherine Moore, age 9, Boyd Moore, 7, and Paul Moore, 5, as well as the Stillinger sisters. Once the murders were discovered, news traveled quickly in the small town. It is said that up to 100 people traced through the house, gawking at the bodies before the Villisca National Guard finally arrived around noon to cordon off the area and secure the home. The only known facts regarding the scene of the crime were the following. 8 people had been bludgeoned to death, presumably with an axe left at the crime scene. It appeared all had been asleep at the time of the murders. Doctors estimated the time of death as somewhere shortly after midnight. Curtains were drawn on all the windows except 2, which didn't have curtains. Those windows were covered with clothing belonging to the Moores. All of the victims' faces were covered with the bedcloths after they were killed. A kerosene lamp was found at the foot of the bed of Josiah and Sarah. The chimney was off and the wick had been turned back. The chimney was found under the dresser. A similar lamp was found at the foot of the bed of the Stillinger girls. The chimney was also off. The axe was found in the room occupied by the Stillinger girls. It was bloody, but an attempt had been made to wipe it off. The axe belonged to Josiah Moore. The ceilings in the parents' bedroom and the children's room showed gouge marks apparently made by an upswinging of the axe. A piece of a keychain was found on the floor in the downstairs bedroom. A pan of bloody water was discovered on the kitchen table as well as a plate of uneaten food. The doors were all locked. The bodies of Lena and Ina Stillinger were found in the downstairs bedroom off the parlor. Ina was sleeping closest to the wall with Lena on her right side. A gray coat covered her face. Lena, according to the inquest testimony of Dr. F.S. Williams, lay as though she had kicked one foot out of her bed sideways, with one hand up under the pillow on her right side, half sideways, not clear over, but just a little. Apparently she had been struck in the head and squirmed down in the bed, perhaps 1/3 of the way. Lena's nightgown was slid up and she was wearing no undergarments. There was a blood stain on the inside of her right knee. And what the doctors assumed was a defensive wound on her arm. The murderer, or murderers, are long dead by now, their gruesome secret buried with them. It is important to realize that in 1912, fingerprinting was fairly a new venture, and DNA testing was unimaginable. With this almost 100-year-old murder mystery, who do you think murdered the Moore family and the 2 Stillinger sisters? Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and opinions, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!